Hello, welcome back to my channel. And today it's going to be a little bit simpler. It's more of a, this is what I read this month, and so I guess it's my July wrap up. I have read a whopping 7 books this month, which is actually it's a record for me when it comes to reading, because I think last year I was averaging like a book and a half every month, so 7 books is pretty impressive personally for me. But out of the 7 books I read, I have a whopping 2 physically, and they match, which I think is funny. So these are the 2 I actually have. The first one I read this month was a library book. It was of Orcas and Men. I don't know if that one particularly counts because I was like finished with it by the time I started doing this. But it was just about like what orcas can teach us, and it had a lot of really cool stories about the First Nations people and how they felt about orcas. It had a lot of environmental information, and it was just a really fun read for people who love orcas. The next book I read, I'm going to try and keep these really quick because my videos can go for a long time and I'm so sorry. But the next book I read was Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. I don't feel like my review at the end of my Summerween video was coherent when it came to these, so I'm going to try and be a little more detailed with this. Basically, 10 people find themselves on an island, and they're not sure who brought them there. They've been brought there under suspicious circumstances, and they soon start dying off in mysterious ways, one by one, following the poem in the front of the book, The 10 Little Soldier Boys. They're trying to figure out who's doing it, and you actually don't find out until the epilogue. So it's really, I loved it. It was my first mystery book. And I was impressed. I never thought I'd be into mystery. I am now obsessed. I gave it 5 stars because it took me aback, and I was surprised by the ending. So this was my Summerween read. This is the first one you see in my Summerween vlog. The second one was Welcome to Dead House, which was a Goosebumps book that I got off of Libby and read on my Kindle. I gave it 3 stars because it's Goosebumps. It's definitely not my demographic, and it was okay. It was a little creepy, I'll give it that. It was really creepy to read in the dark, but I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, and if you don't want the spoiler you can skip, but it lost points for me when the dog died. I don't take that well. I hate stuff like that. It's like, no. I kind of see how the ambiguous ending would be helpful to make it just as creepy, but I gave it 3 stars. I wasn't too totally impressed with it. The same with Say Cheese and Die, which I think was actually the first one I finished for Summerween. I also gave it 3 stars. I personally didn't find it that scary. It was definitely an interesting concept, but I wasn't like freaked out by it. Basically, they find a camera that either predicts or causes bad things to happen to the person in the photo, and they have to figure out what's going on. How is this camera able to do this? It's a little creepy, but they're definitely kids, so a lot of the decisions that are made are just like, why are you making this decision? But all in all, I think it was actually very interesting. It's an interesting concept, but I don't think it was like scary. It's not one of the scarier Goosebumps books, but I liked it okay, but it was an easy listen, and it was only 3 hours. And then there was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This one absolutely blew my mind. I was very impressed with this one. You really don't see the end coming. I absolutely love Lucy Foley's way of writing, where you have the different perspectives of each person, and the audiobooks do this really well because they have a different narrator for each chapter, and whoever is narrating, making it so easy to follow along with who's talking. And I love this kind of formula she has, where you just kind of introduce these characters, and then closer and closer to the end you kind of see how these characters begin to really converge and how it relates to the mystery of the novel. It is I think it's just very well executed. I didn't see the end coming at all, and I thought I was very highly impressed of Lucy Foley on first read. So I gave that one a 5-star. I think it deserved a 5-star. I can see why this book is so popular amongst thriller lovers, because it is so good. And I was very satisfied by the end. I was very impressed. I was satisfied. You really don't know what's going to happen. Like, there's so many ways it could have gone, and then just that ending is like, I didn't see that coming at all. And I was very impressed with that. Very well done. I loved it. I also read her book, The Midnight Feast. This was the last book I read for Summerween. It's also by Lucy Foley. It's actually her newer release, and I gave it a 4-star. So it still has the same formula as the guest list. I still very much enjoyed it. I love that formula. There were still a couple of twists that I did not see coming. I found that kind of satisfying. It's like, I'm like, okay, it's going in this direction, and then it just switches and goes into a completely different direction that you don't see coming. I think that's really well done in Lucy Foley. I think those are most fun about thrillers, is like you think it's gonna go one way, and that is so not the way it goes. And those are all my Summerween books. The last one I read this month, it's got its own vlog because I read it on a camping trip, which probably wasn't smart, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I read it. It's Five Survive by Holly Jackson. This book was so close. I was initially thinking this was a 3 to 4 star around the middle of the book. See, what happened was, and I need to be careful when I do this, I was trying to find a page count. I found the end page and went, oh, I think I know how this is gonna go. I was kind of right, but not really. It's like, okay, I see where this is going, and then it's like, wait, what? This book made me say WTF out loud 3 times, because I was like, wait, what just happened? So I'll give it full credit for that. This ended up being 5 stars because the ending caught me off guard, and I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's just a thriller thing where they really get the gotcha moments back to back at the end of the book, which I feel like this one gives you like 2-3 twists just in the epilogue on what's going on. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun read. I think it's just funny. I read it in a camper when it takes place in an RV. I think I have to read more of Holly Jackson because this was really fun. This was really good. And now I kind of want to read A Girl's Guide to Murder because I loved this one. Highly recommend this one for any thriller reader. I still think of this book a lot. Like, I'll be sitting at work at break and this book enters my mind and I'm still thinking of that ending going, holy crap. Like, and I finished it like a week ago and it still comes to mind. As for August, I don't have a lot on the TBR because I have a very busy second half of August. I am getting married this month and it is also my birthday month, so if I go 2 weeks without posting a video, that is why. I've got something else going on and it's a big deal. I only have 4 subscribers that keep up with me. Thank you guys, by the way, to those 4 subscribers. I'm not being ironic or whatever. I'm like, seriously, thank you. Everyone starts somewhere and having 4 is more than I thought I would have anyway, so I really do appreciate the support. I do know this month I want to get to If We Were Villains. I know that's a big one I want to get to. I've heard this one's really good and it's another thriller, it's a mystery. So I really do want to get to this one. Another one I want to read in August is called How to Train Your Goblin King. I have it on Kindle. I am a fan of the movie Labyrinth, and it's one of the books that came up when I said books for people who love Labyrinth. Like, I was introduced to it at 11 years old, and I'm a huge fan of Jim Henson's Muppets, so it seemed like a fit. It's now one of my top 5 favorite movies. I think it is one of my favorite movies. It might be in the top 3, actually. And reading a book based on it is an interesting concept. I don't know how well that's going to go, though, because I don't feel the same way about the Sarah and Jareth relationship as a lot of fans do. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm very much wanting to read that this year. I'm actually also currently reading The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. I'm not gonna vlog this one, I'm just curious about this one because I read The Lost Apothecary, so this one's also this month. One more thing, I got a quick little book haul. I got these on Amazon yesterday. They will go on my October reading list, September, October, and that is Halloween Party by Agatha Christie and Episode 13 by Greg DeLuey. So I will talk more about these during spooky season. I am busy for the next month. I'll try to get a vlog in before the end of August. Hopefully maybe next week or the week after I'll get like one vlog in or so, and we'll see what happens there. I may stick to the shorter vlogs that are like 15 minutes and only a weekend, because it's just easier for me with having a full-time job. Reading during the week is difficult and exhausting. Summerween for me was so tiring. 5 books in a week, my brain was so tired. I'm not good at that. My brain just was very exhausted after that. So August is going to be very spotty with posting. September and October should be better. I should have my full attention on reading again because I won't be planning a wedding. That wedding will take place this month. That is pretty much it from me. That is what I read this month. 7 books for me is a big deal, and just to let y'all know, I will not be posting as much in August. I will try to get at least one more posted before all of that, but September, October, killer this year too, because I'm still halfway through that one. So thank you for hearing me listen to me about what I have read this month, and a little bit about what to expect over the next month. I'm not gonna do a August TBR because I just sort of pick books depending on how I feel at the moment. But thank you for sticking around for this long, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.